Welcome back to the motherfucking Cream Spot. I'm one of your co-hosts, the delicious Nicolicious.
The Cream Spot. Oh, God.
Yeah, this is the Cream Spot. You know about the Cream Spot?
I don't. Tell me about it.
I'll show you later.
All right,
That's
even
where
better.
you hit it so hard it creams.
Oh, okay.
This is my co-host.
Yeah, I guess. Who am I? I don't know.
It's Rob Diggity Dangle Dog.
Robbie D.
Yeah, Robbie Diggity Dangle Dog. Never
Hi,
question a man in a minivan because you don't know what the fuck he's going through.
Hell
Me
no.
and this guy both drive minivans.
Yeah, it's fucking rough life.
It is a rough life. Here we are in Dayton, Ohio. It's been a bad week for us and our people.
Rough
There's-
week. Another one.
There's some motherfuckers out there in the world, man. There are some true motherfuckers.
Yes, there is.
And if you're someone out there that's listening to us that thinks about stuff like that, thinks it's cool, thinks it's funny, you can go fucking fist yourself. And we're dealing with a lot of sadness in this community right now. We had a mass shooting in the Oregon district, which is essentially the Times Square of Dayton, Ohio. I mean, it's
Really, really cool, unique area. It's pretty much one of a kind. It's our own, little hangout area that everybody parties at.
going back. I think when Rob and I were coming of age, I think we both played in bands in the Oregon district.
Yep.
That is just a safe spot.
Yeah.
It's just people love when everyone's down there hanging out.
I still frequent it pretty often.
It changes with the times. It stays the same, but it changes.
Yeah.
And it feels like a safe place down there, and it is a safe place. But someone robbed it of that feeling. I guess that safe feeling. I'm not gonna say his name because he doesn't deserve the fucking notoriety. He's dead now. The Dayton police responded and put this guy down in
Under a minute.
Under a minute. So, congratulations to the Dayton Police Department for that.
Yeah, good job.
Kudos to you guys. I guess there's nothing good that's come of this. We've got a lot of friends that work at the Dayton Police Department.
Yep.
So,
Got a lot of friends that work in the Oregon district as well, and
yeah.
I'd say the only good thing about it is pretty much just the resilience of the community and the ability to come together and for support for everyone, which is, is shitty as you may think this area is.
It's not.
Everybody comes together when need be, and it's little things like that make you proud of the area.
Absolutely. One thing that I want to make clear is Rob and I are not political dudes.
Nah, not at all.
We don't subscribe to... Immediately people are saying, oh, it's our president's fault, it's this person's fault.
It's a little from column A, column B, and column C. I mean, you can't blame it specifically on one thing. It's a little bit of everything. Mostly, I would say it's a mental health issue.
It is. And that's what I was about to say next.
And that's where we'll leave that. So
we got a mental health issue and we got a gun issue in this country.
Yep.
I mean, if you have guns in the hands of the right people, hey, but too often get guns in the wrong hands, and that's the fucking problem.
Yep.
That and Donald Trump's a fat piece of shit. That has nothing to do with this.
Not at all.
He's made good decisions. He's made bad decisions. I just want to say he's a fat piece of shit. And I thought Barack Obama had really big ears. Ross Perot had the biggest ears.
Man, didn't he?
I would have really enjoyed a fellatio from that man.
Yeah.
Take his teeth out and grab a hold of them ears like fucking handlebars on a Harley. Thank you to the supporters of this show. Sorry to start this episode so sadly, but this is the Cream Spot.
Right back at it. I still wasn't even the second time around. I wasn't ready for the fucking Cream Spot. Let's just open up an ice cream joint and call it the Cream Spot.
Oh, I want to open up a Cream Spot, and people come in like, oh, I want to have the banana split, please. I'm like, we only sell sour cream. We have sour cream and chives, sour cream ketchup. It's really good for French fries. Mix it up.
You just dip a dildo in soft serve.
This goes in your Cream Spot. Amber Perez, thank you so much for your Patreon pledge.
Scott Grady, thank you very much, sir.
Julian Julio, what the fuck?
Julio, holy shit.
Julian Ramen Noodle Ramos, thank you, Julian.
Damon, thank you.
Thanks, Damon. Lewis, as in Lewis and Clark. Thank you, Lewis, for your Patreon pledge.
Shug Nasty. Thank you.
This next one. Rubber Dick Slinger. Rubber Dick Slinger, you and I We go back a long fucking time.
So
Thanks,
he's
buddy.
been to the cream spot. Ian Allen, thank you. You get another fun one.
Oh, take it. You take it.
Okay. Mitch injects genitalia. Thank you very much, Mr. Genitalia.
If your mom seriously named you that, I bet she gives phenomenal head. It's my guess. Brian Cruz, Brian, thank you for your Patreon pledge.
Thank you.
Next, we have a couple promos from the Maximum Effort podcast. These are our friends in the Butt Chuggers Anonymous. We inspired them to start their own podcast. And next, all the way from Australia, we got the Bloody Murder podcast. And boy, they got their shit together. That's a good fucking show. So go check out both these shows. We're going to play those promos right meow.
Hi, I'm Barney Black.
And I'm Tara Saravan.
And we do Bloody Murder.
We're a weekly true crime podcast that focuses on some of the lesser-known crime stories from Australia.
And indeed around the globe.
We're a comedy podcast with a dark sense of humour.
But we're dead serious about murder and the people it affects.
We find humour in some unexpected places.
But never at the expense of the victims or their families.
We've been described as the blue cheese of podcasting.
Addictive, strong and satisfying.
And a bit stinky.
I am not.
You know you are.
Bloody Murder is available on your favourite podcatcher.
Hey kids, I'm Dave.
And I'm still Adam.
And we host the Maximum Effort podcast, where we both strap into the Wayback Machine, dragging you along with us, kicking and screaming, all the way back to the 80s and 90s, and revisit only the choicest of pop culture topics.
Like getting to the bottom of where the hell does Optimus Prime's trailer go when he transforms.
And should you wipe down Cameron's dad's 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California with a diaper?
Every episode is full of obscure references that only we get, like understanding that I love the Power Glove.
That the number 2 worlds in Super Mario are in fact underground.
And that after listening to the Maximum Effort podcast, you too will know what we're talking about.
And knowing is half the battle.
So come on kids, grab your Dixie cup filled with Coke. No ice. Skateboard down to the Twin Peaks Mall at precisely 1:15 a.m. Slide into the DeLorean with us and check out the Maximum Effort podcast wherever you download your eargasm material.
Oh, and be sure to hop on our Patreon to get a sticker before Ryan Reynolds sues us into oblivion.
Heard that.
That's the Maximum Effort podcast. That's the Bloody Murder podcast. Go check them out.
Check him out.
Rap Dog, I got a it's from Canada, but it's
Okay.
It's a redneck story.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they had this in Canada.
He's coming from North Perth, Ontario, Canada. Since it's a redneck story, I'm going to read it like a redneck.
All right, go for it.
In honor of the Patreon sponsor of this episode, Mike. He's a bit of a hillbilly himself, I think. Thank you, Mike, for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you, sir.
Says a driver in Canada was charged with failing to properly secure a child after police say he strapped a toddler to a beer case instead of car seat.
Is that to protect his beer?
I don't know, dude.
Fuck the kid. Gotta keep this beer safe.
Ontario provincial police pulled over a 22-year-old driver who has not been identified early Tuesday morning, according to CTV News. Police say a 2-year-old child was in the car, sitting on a 30 case of beer. I want to know what kind of beer it was.
I know.
Probably a fucking Natty Daddy. Driver had allegedly put the case on the seat of his car and strapped the child to it. CP24 reports the toddler was not injured, but police charged the driver with failing to ensure the child was properly restrained. The child's seat was brought to the driver, and Family and Children's Services was notified of the incident, according to CTV News. The Ontario Ministry of Transportation, whatever the fuck that is,
Right.
notes the province's Highway Traffic Act requires children to be in a goddamn car seat. I'm not even going to read it. That's what it says in a nutshell.
That's probably the perfect accent for that story, too.
So when you're out partying with your natty daddy and your kids, make sure you don't strap them kids to the fucking beer.
Or strap the kids to the beer.
Yeah, because we get to read about it. Don't worry about
Exactly. It gives us articles to read.
Oh, yeah, no, you're my sister, and I just got done fucking your brains out, but I don't got a car seat, and I know I got to take these kids their stupid fucking gymnastics or whatever the fuck they do, so I'm going to have to strap them to whatever I got in the car out there, if that's okay. I know we're sisters. Well, I'm kind of like your brother, but I like when you eat me out, because that's what we're into. So I've been on this thing lately.
All right.
I'm going to tell you about it.
Okay, go for it. I feel like you're going to anyways.
I just like it when I just tell people that I want them to eat me out.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not a female, so this really catches people off guard.
It's like when girls say "suck my dick." Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. Doesn't faze me.
I'm like, all right.
You go, girl. Whatever it takes.
Flop that bastard out. Let me see it.
And I'll just stare at people. I'll just gaze. And they'll say, "Hey, what's up?" And I'll just say, "I really want you to eat me out." It catches them off guard. Said it to the guy at Chipotle right before he made my bowl today. He said, "What?" I said, "White rice, no beans, please." Pussy. He didn't want to eat me out either, Rob Dog.
That's inconsiderate.
I don't think we're gonna have time to record a Patreon episode.
Yeah,
it's 100 fucking degrees in my basement.
It's pretty hot,
and we just want to get it over with.
Yeah.
But the thing I was going to ask you about in the Patreon episode this week is, what do you, when you see someone for the first time, as long as they don't ask you to eat them out,
right?
What's one of the first things you judge a person off of? Or what's something you see on someone you're like, man, they're a piece of fucking shit.
Oof. It's hard. I don't fucking know, man. This is gonna sound real weird, and I'm judging for a couple different reasons. One is if you have problems with your teeth that you can control.
What's that supposed to mean?
Like if you look at me and I can noticeably see there's shit all over your teeth,
like Cheeto dust and shit,
or they're just nasty and you just need to fucking brush them. I'll completely judge you by that. That's mostly.
The other day I was dining in at Taco Bell.
Okay.
Of all the places to eat.
Right.
And a guy walked in with some blown out, what was it? Velcro shoes.
Oh, okay.
And his feet were hanging out of the side of the Velcro shoes.
Yeah.
He pulled up in a nicer car. It was like a Honda, like a newer Honda or something, but he was wearing Velcro shoes, and he stunk and he had greasy hair.
Okay.
And I was just looking at his feet, and I was like, man, I bet his dick smells fucking terrible. And it just got me thinking, like, when you see a person, I'm one of those people that I've never really met someone that I just don't get along with. I get along with everybody. So even if I would have talked to this guy, we probably would have become best friends. Mm-hmm. But right off the rip, I saw his dirty shoes and I said, this guy probably sucks his mom's dick. For sure. And then his mom came in after him. He's like probably 55 or something. His mom came in.
And then he sucked her dick?
He put her up on the counter. He didn't suck her dick, but he like opened it and spit on it. I'm like, sir, stop, please stop. And that was the end of that. No, she was eating tacos and did not have any teeth. Her teeth were completely missing, and she was eating tacos. And it was
good for her.
Falling out all over the place.
Okay.
And I said, I bet she is fun. I bet she was a lot of fun. So then I just started saying random names. I was like, Delilah. I was just trying to guess her name.
Right.
Karen. She wasn't looking. I never officially guessed her name. So that was my Taco Bell excursions this week.
Okay.
But good to know. I'll start brushing my teeth before you come down here.
Please do.
So, what bothers you? What do you judge someone off of when you first meet them before you talk to them? Send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Some of the best submissions are going to get read on the air next week.
Okay.
How's that sound?
It sounds great.
Tell us what you judge people on. That's brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Not the Brohio Podcast, because we don't get that fucking email. brohiopodcast@gmail.com.
Somebody does.
Someone made it and emailed us like, oh, what are you going to do now, motherfucker?
Jake the Snake's been getting all of our research for the past month.
Rob, in my Rolodex, Rob is right next to Jake the Snake Roberts. And I always I share my research, and it always goes to Jake the Snake and not Rob. And there was one week, what were we doing? Dulce Air Base, the really crazy one.
Right.
Jake the Snake opened that 3 times. So I think Jake the Snake was like, I gotta see what the fuck's going on here. I gotta read a story to Damien.
He opened it 3 times. That's great.
Jake, if you're out there listening, buddy, I think you're a piece of shit. I don't like you, but, you know.
God damn it.
That's what it is, man.
Oh, man.
DDP yoga, motherfuckers.
It'll save lives.
It will save lives. Now on to the topic at hand here, Scientology.
Our hillbilly of the day.
our Patreon sponsor, Mike, he said, first he said giants. He said alien giants. I said, what the fuck are those? I looked it up, couldn't find anything. Then he said Post Town Elementary. I said, good topic, not enough content. And he said a few other things, some hidden treasure somewhere. I said, God damn it, no one's found this fucking treasure, so how am I supposed to do a 60-minute podcast about it? But here we are. It's Scientology. Scientology was started by a little guy named L. Ron Hubbard. He actually wasn't a little guy. He was a very big guy.
Yeah, big fucker.
Nastiest fucking teeth I've ever seen. Did not chew tobacco and looked like he had a full-on chaw on his bottom jaw in all of his interviews. Just like a big black wad of dog shit right in his bottom lip.
Yeah, he sucked.
And you know what I like to do with guys like that are just have a big nasty dip in?
Fuck them.
I grab them, I put my hands around their throat, and I pull them in. I just make out with them as hard as I can. And then I sneeze. When I'm done, I just sneeze in their mouth. If you've ever had a man sneeze in your mouth before, write us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what it tasted like. If it gave you cavities.
He surprisingly kind of looks like Donald Trump.
He does. He looks like the dad from Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah.
Just like him.
Yeah.
That guy's died, though, I think.
Yeah.
He passed away.
So is L. Ron Hubbard, so it's okay.
Yeah, thankfully, L. Ron Hubbard is dead. He was a former lieutenant in the U.S. Navy during World War II, which a lot of people don't know that. He served in World War II. He is for all intents and purposes, he is the father of Scientology.
Yes, he is.
He's the one that started it all. Some of you are wondering what Scientology is. You know, what it's all about. It's a fucking scam.
It's a cult.
It is the biggest debacle. Mess.
It's so weird.
And if you celebrate Scientology, I'm not getting you anything for Christmas.
They're not going to be listening. They're not going to be allowed to listen to this anyway, so it's okay.
Fucking suck, man. If I would like to hear if we have anyone that's kind of dabbled in Scientology, you can reach out to us. We have all of these different social media outlets. We also have an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you've ever been involved with Scientology. I'd love to meet someone with a first-hand account of how they would just fucking get it on and shit. What you do there in Scientology camp, I don't know. Now, old L. Ron Hubbard, or what they like to call him, LRH. That's what they call him in the cult. LRH.
Oh, LRH.
He did some really dumb shit in the Navy, so we celebrate our war heroes. He was in World War II, but he did some really fucking retarded shit. He was staged in Melbourne, Australia, on the way to the Philippines, and he got sent home from there. So during World War II, during the height of the war, they need all bodies, all hands on deck.
Right.
They take this guy through processing. They say, no, I don't think so. He's got to go back. He's not going to work for us. So that he was completely fucked up from the very beginning. But still, he managed to finagle his way back into active duty, I guess. And he was going on a submarine. I think it might have been a submarine run, or he was on a ship of some type, but it was going from Portland to San Francisco, and he's only 5 hours after going into the trip. Now, he was like he was a lieutenant, so he was in charge of this submarine or ship, whatever it was. He was the motherfucker in charge. He spent 68 hours in combat during this mission from Portland to San Francisco. 68 hours in combat, firing shit off.
It's one state away.
Wrecking shit. And he started shooting 5 hours into the trip. Admiral Fletcher, who was the commander of the Northwest Sea Frontier, concluded that an analysis of all reports convinces me that there was no submarine in the area. Oops. So he fought the darkness for 68 hours. Just like me jerking off in the dark, just shooting rounds into the abyss.
Right.
Fletcher suggested Hubbard had mistaken a known magnetic deposit for an enemy submarine.
How do you fuck up that bad?
Oh, it gets better. He also commanded a P-815, which was a ship. Oh, no, that was a submarine, I think. Some of these Navy guys listening are like, what a bunch of fucking dumbasses. He commanded this thing into Mexican waters. So he was on another tour there, and he was in Mexican waters. He wasn't supposed to be in Mexican waters. And he started randomly shooting at a habitat. It was an island that was it had residents on it. It had people living on it because he thought there was a threat, an enemy threat. I think it was a Japanese threat. It just starts cracking off rounds, shooting the entire fucking island loaded full of people.
What a fucking joke.
Exactly. Now, after the Mexican incident, they completely shut him down and moved him back to San Diego. When he got back to, please God, don't restart that. Thank you. When he got back to San Diego, he reported that he was exceptionally sick. He cited a variety of ailments, including malaria, ulcers, and back pains.
Okay.
He was medically observed in San Diego for 3 months. I went on to say that he faked all of these ailments so he wouldn't get punished for shooting up the island they had all the people living on it. So that was kind of his.
How are you still not going to get in trouble just by faking malaria and ulcers?
Well, he got his way. During that time, I'm sure there was a lot of stuff that slipped through the cracks. But finally, in February of 1946, he was no longer in active duty for the U.S. military. At that time, there was a long time of him still being in the military, but not necessarily being around or being, I guess, officially employed. In 1945, he moved in with Jack Whiteside in Pasadena, Florida. You might remember this dickhead from the Aleister Crowley episodes. He was is Jack Whiteside Parsons was his name. He was a rocket propulsion researcher, and he was highly regarded in the scientific community. This Mr. Parsons, he had a brilliant mind. Some of them, he's compared to in the same breath as Tesla and many other scientists that have changed the game so much. He was the leader of Crowley's Lodge, the Magic Order, the OTO. He let rooms in the house only to tenants who he specified should be atheists and those of bohemian disposition. And what he said he wrote Aleister Crowley talking about L. Ron Hubbard, and this is what he said. He said, "He is a gentleman, he has red hair, green eyes, is honest and intelligent."
It's like a dating profile.
It really sounds like it. I would like to fucking clap his cheeks. We have become great friends. He moved in with me about 2 months ago, and although Betty and I are still friendly, she has transferred her sexual affection to Ron. So
transferred.
He lost his fucking girlfriend to this guy that moved in with him, which is
what
great.
A pussy magnet.
Yeah. Although he has no formal training in magic, he has that's magic with a K too, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He has an extraordinary amount of experience and understanding in the field. From some of his experiences, I deduced that he is in direct touch with some higher intelligence, possibly his guardian angel. He describes his angel as a beautiful winged woman with, you guessed it, red hair, whom he calls the Empress, and who has guided him through his life and saved him many times. He is the most thelemic person I have ever met and is in complete accord with our principles.
Okay.
So what did these guys decide that they were going to do, Rob Dog? They decided they were going to try and summon an incarnation of this thing called Babylon. Now, I'm reading about Babylon. You think, there's a lot of different thoughts that come to my head when I think about Babylon. I vaguely remember a show, Something Babylon, back when I was a little bit younger. But this Babylon is a thelemic goddess. They were going to try and summon her to... some say she's like just as powerful as Satan, but she's a big deal in the OTO, all that stuff. This Babylon character in the sex magic stuff, and they were going to try and summon her using sex magic.
Oh fuck it, they're going to fuck each other.
Yes, well, pretty close.
Okay.
The plan was to actually get what they called an elemental to show up, which is where they would do this sex magic. And when they would summon Babylon, she would show up in the form of a physical female.
Okay.
And she would be like, fuck my brains out. Fuck me. Come inside my holes.
And this sex magic, I just think of these two dudes with their wieners out, rubbing the tips together like this.
Till they start a fire.
Either a bushfire or they both have to come at the same time. And then their cum fuses. And then the magic sprouts.
No. That's sex magic for sure.
That's sex magic. That's what it sounds like to me.
It sounds like it'd feel good. Anytime you put two pee holes together, you're talking about absolute ecstasy.
I wonder what would feel better, side to side or up and down.
Up and down. That's called the Hacksaw Jim Duggan when you do up and down. So their plan is they're going to
make your pee holes kiss.
Yeah, they're make pee holes, little turtle kisses. They're going to summon an incarnation of Babylon. They're trying to get a woman to come and say, fuck my brains out, fucking come in my butt, come in my vagina hole.
I
and
get
then
that.
she's going to give birth to a child, and that's going to be the incarnation of Babylon.
Okay.
Makes
sense.
The sex magic procedure that they were going to do consisted of several nights of feverishly masturbation by Parsons.
Yes.
Which turned open a spiritual... So him like just vigorously masturbating for nights and nights in a row.
Man.
This opened up a spiritual vortex that L. Ron Hubbard could see into for signs and visions.
How do you not get chapped dick after that long?
Oh, that's a lot of lube.
I
remember the first time my dad fucked me. I'm like, how are we going to do this? And he said, a lot of lube, buddy. He's probably listening to this dude. He's like, God damn it, I fucking hate him so goddamn much.
I didn't use that much.
Every time I do something stupid, he's like, should have spent 25 cents on a condom. Like, man, that's fucked up.
Inflation's a motherfucker now.
He had me when he was like 30. I ain't buying no motherfucking condoms right now. Condoms. I don't even know where you get a condom. You get them on Amazon?
I think so.
Amazon Prime. Can I get a dash button for that? What if they accidentally send me magnums, Rob?
What are you going to do with that?
Laundry bag? I don't know. Put my leg in it. Tube socks. They work good with work boots.
Like 40-year-old virgin when he puts his whole fucking arm in it.
Those things are scary, dude.
Oh my god.
When I used to work at the club and I'd pat dudes down and I would have to check their pockets. Every single black dude had a magnum in their pocket. And I would say, I did strip searches at the prison. This is after I worked security.
Yeah.
There's some white dudes with big dicks, and there's some black dudes with big old dicks. But not all white guys. Well, I can assure you not all white guys have huge dicks.
Very true, very true.
Not all Mexicans have huge dicks, and not all black guys have huge dicks. So I wish I could go back and be like, hey, buddy, why are you carrying this magnum around? It's okay if you got a little dick like me. You don't have to carry this big fucker around. This is weighing you down. Put some less latex in your pocket. Get something a little lighter, a little more aerodynamic, so you can be up here in the club sipping the bub, getting, whatever you got to do to get it done. Don't need these big old fucking magnums in your pocket.
No.
Get some Durex. That's what us guy with little wieners use, or the Durexes. They're built a little bit smaller.
Both of us might be able to get our wiener in a magnum. Not lengthwise, but widthwise. Just put our wieners together.
Like a Chinese finger trap, like both ends?
Yeah. Not on both ends, but in the same hole.
It's a Dayton wiener trap is what it is.
It's a dick sandwich.
But, so they do this sex magic. Several nights of feverish masturbation by Parsons.
Okay.
They open up the spiritual vortex for Hubbard. In comes Marjorie Cameron, who was actually a famous dime piece actress at the time.
Okay.
She says, fucking put it inside of me. Do it to me. And they did. They proceeded to fuck the ever-living dog shit out of her for several nights.
All right.
It's said that they fucked her so hard that she had to put an ice pack on her vagina. I don't think that's true. I made that up.
Huh?
Actually, they didn't even get her pregnant like they wanted to.
Damn, those guys suck.
Yeah. They did not do a very good job. That's kind of like me when I make threats to my wife, like, hey, I'm about to fucking beat the shit out of this thing. And she's like, okay, all right. And then we're all done. She's like, are you done? And I'm like, yeah, how was I? Terrible. You were fucking terrible.
Subpar.
So they did not get her pregnant, but this is kind of like, this is the infancy of Scientology, how they get all this shit rolling.
Fucking the shit out of some woman.
And in flash forward to 1950, L. Ron Hubbard wrote a self-help book entitled Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health.
Your first book is Scientology right there.
And it was not Scientology yet, but
not at the time.
It is this is the beginning of all the madness. It was a self-help book that explored the relationship between body and mind. He had an editor that claimed Hubbard cured with Dianetics, that he cured schizophrenics, apathies, manics, depressives, perverts, stutterers, neuroses, ulcers, arthritis, and asthma. All
Asthma.
sound like you guys are going to hear some asthma when you hear Rob fucking Antoinette for the Blue Chew ad in the middle of this episode. That's what asthma sounds like.
That was a good one.
Just wait and hold on for that one.
Yeah, it's good.
Now, we got this from Wikipedia, so we like to cite their sources whenever we use them, okay? It says the basic principle of Dianetics was that the brain recorded every experience and event in a person's life, even when unconscious. Bad or painful experiences were stored as what he called engrams in a reactive mind. These could be triggered later in life, causing emotional and physical problems by carrying out a process called, this is very important to remember, auditing. A person could be regressed through his engrams to re-experiencing past experiences. This is very confusing, I know, but I will get you all up to speed, I promise.
Yeah, we'll break it down.
This enabled engrams, the bad experiences, to be cleared. The subject who would now be in a state of, quote, clear, would have a perfectly functioning mind with an improved IQ, and I don't know what IQ stands for. Do you know?
Intelligent quotient or something like that?
I do not know.
I don't know. I might be wrong.
I'm not sure about that. And it also is said to give them a photographic memory. The, quote, clear...
Intelligence quotient. Yeah, bam!
Jesus Christ, that's pretty good, Rob Dog.
Yeah.
The, quote, the clear would be cured of physical ailments ranging from poor eyesight to the common cold, which Hubbard asserted was purely psychosomatic. So what they're saying, you have all of these fucked up experiences inside your brain. And they don't even really speak to in the respect of it being a brain. They speak more so about
your being,
your soul.
Yeah.
What we would call they call them thetans.
Yeah, thetans. Yeah,
it's your soul, okay? And your soul has all these bad traumatic experiences trapped in them from past lives, this life. They believe your soul's been around for a long time. And the only way to become, quote, clear, which is the ultimate goal in Dianetics and Scientology, to become clear, is to somehow get all of these old engrams, the bad experiences, as they call them, is to go back and push them all out, so then your soul is completely clear of all this bad shit. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
It makes zero fucking sense. Sounds pretty stupid. So by August of 1950, this Dianetics book, it had sold, let me see here, 55,000 copies and had a cult following, to say the least. Selling, it was getting to the point where it was selling approximately 4,000 copies per week and was being actively translated into several different languages. There were 500 plus auditing groups that were being set up around the world. So what an auditor does... So you can't just show up to the Scientology church and be like, all right, my brain's fucking clear. You have to go through a process with someone who is called an auditor.
Oh, yeah.
And what an auditor is someone that has spent a lot of fucking money to be called an auditor. And they walk you through the process of getting all of these engrams, the bad thoughts, bad feelings, out of your soul. That's what these auditors are tasked with.
And this is a thing that they do, that they keep track of for every single person. Between this and writing reports from other people, so I don't know how. It might be too soon to go into this yet, but
I'm gonna get there.
Okay, but yeah, they want you to pretty much say anything bad you've ever done, whether it be committing crimes, weird sex acts. So we're even talking about a little smacking, choking. That's completely forbidden.
They want to know everything.
Everything. And then what they will do, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, is that if you ever try to go away from the church or leave the church, they use this as leverage to, smear your name.
You're absolutely right.
Horrible.
Like Rob said, complete complete blackmail.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The taking her
Headphones off. It's getting fucking serious.
It's getting hot in here. There's a lot of different things that we're gonna get to, but we're going back to the Dianetics shit in the very beginning. They finally have all these different auditing groups. They're starting to pop up all over the place. The critics, though, they grabbed onto this Dianetics thing and said, "This is garbage. This is shitty trash." People were sending their money from all over the place. They were absolutely tossing their money at L. Ron Hubbard and Dianetics to try and become what was they were known as auditors. The financial records were completely fucked up, though. There was $90,000 brought in, I believe it was a branch of Los Angeles. There was $90,000 brought in, and only $20,000 was accounted for during 1 month.
Oops.
And this is the foundation that he started. One person testified and said, not really testified, he was never brought to court officially, but one witness said they observed him count out $56,000, put it in his pocket, and just walk the fuck out.
You know how much money it costs to keep a cult going?
I agree wholeheartedly. So there's that. But Dianetics itself, it did fall pretty hard. One lecture, there was a, quote, a clear that was brought onto the stage. And the clear is someone that's completely flushed, their soul of all these bad recollections.
A clean person.
They brought this clear person on stage, and they started questioning her. L. Ron Hubbard did in front of this lecture group, and she had no fucking clue what he was talking about. Couldn't give her story at all. So then people in the lecture just started standing up and walking. They started walking out. They were just fucking, this shit's crazy.
Good for them.
But along with the critics kind of like, told you so, at this point, the FBI and the IRS intervened.
Yeah, buddy.
They started going through and digging into all of the different records that he should have had.
Yeah.
There were no records. There was just the people saying he's got a lot of money, and at this point, it wasn't a religion. This was more of like he had this
kind of like a support group,
a cult. It was
yeah.
He had this huge boner for psychiatrists and psychologists. He absolutely despised them.
Yeah,
and he would oftentimes talk badly about psychiatrists and say how they're kind of fake. They don't really know what they're talking about. But here he is doing this Dianetic shit, like you gotta fucking jack off to open up a spiritual plane and stuff. That was more along the lines of Aleister Crowley. Their process here in Dianetics didn't mature to its full point before the FBI and the IRS said, all right, no more of this shit. Almost immediately after closing up shop in 1952, L. Ron Hubbard started the Hubbard Association of Scientologists International. Dianetics is all about releasing the mind from, quote, distorting influence of Ingrams, or I hate to keep going back and saying this again, but Ingrams are the bad things inside of you, the bad thoughts, the traumatic things that happen to you. And Scientology is the study and handling of the spirit in relation to itself, universes, and other life. So in that moment, in 1952, we had the official birth of what we call modern-day Scientology. Scientology shifted the focus to human souls, our immortal souls, or what they went on to call them Thetans.
Yeah.
That's what your fucking soul is that's been around for millions and millions of years.
Yep.
Is your Thetan. Or, like, it's Satan with a lisp is how it's pronounced. Thetan, like, hey, hail Thetan, dude. Like, if you're in the 7th grade and hail Thetan.
Help me, Thetan.
Help me do my stuff, Thetan. So your soul is trapped in several bodies throughout history in various lifetimes. And that's kind of Scientology's thing, is to help you flush all of this stuff out of your Thetan that's been around Hey, will you help me flush my Thetan? That's what they're trying to do. Is I want to fuck a Thetan. 2 things I want to fuck. Nick,
Okay.
me.
Okay.
I want to fuck myself. Future self or past self. Probably a 19-year-old version of myself.
Okay.
Shit would be tight. I know it would be. And he shaved a lot more than this one does. And I want to fuck a Thetan.
Same.
If I can find one, get my hands around it.
I'll take both of those things myself.
Now, after purging the reactive mind of post-trauma scars through the auditing process, an individual can become, quote, clear, a concept from Dianetics that represents a major goal in Scientology. Those who go clear are believed to reach a higher level of ethical and moral standards, greater creativity and control over their environment, and even less susceptibility to disease.
Whew.
One thing that I would like to cite from the very beginning was L. Ron Hubbard was a fucking pulp writer back in the 1940s. Some of you are probably saying, what is a pulp writer? Pulp is a certain type of paper that science fiction magazines were printed on back in the day. So the guy that started Scientology was a science fiction comic book writer who was literally paid 1 penny per word and is in the Guinness Book of World Records for having published the most
Fiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Books.
Ever.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Books.
Fake.
I got my goddamn holy Bible upstairs. That thing speaks nothing but the goddamn truth. Here this guy is real science fiction novel. So the father of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard,
Was a pro at making shit up. Go figure.
Was a kinky science fiction novel writer back in the 1940s. A pulp writer. In the late 1940s, Ron Hubbard declared, this is what he said, "Writing for a penny a word is ridiculous. If a man really wants to make $1 million, the best way would be to start his own religion."
And what do you know?
This is in his own words.
Yeah, he said it. He said it.
What did he do? Said, I'm going to start my own goddamn religion.
Fuck it.
They started to set up what was called orgs, or local affiliates. This is where they process clients or followers and recommend different packages or auditing sessions. So you go into these Scientology orgs, these local, you got your branch in LA or your branch, I don't know if there's a Scientology branch here near us at all. If there was, I'd go in front and just take a shit in their trash can and leave. That's what I do, is I poop in trash cans. And you go in, you say whatever your problem is. I'm addicted to drugs. I have a pornography addiction. I fucked my neighbor's dog and killed it.
Penis slopes too much to the left.
My penis slopes too much to the left.
Please fix it.
You tell them their problems, and they're going to propose a auditing package for you to help you reach the level of clear. But they're going to try and sell you. They're going to say, oh, the Scientology, the ultimate goal is to become clear because we are fucking time travelers. Our souls are stuck. They're weighed down with all these bad traumatic experiences and bad things that have happened because our souls have been around for all this time. And you are stuck in the mud like a stupid, retarded fucking stick. And you can't go anywhere with the burden of jerking off to the Food Network.
Oh, man.
And you need these packages. Not this package right here between my legs. You need a Scientology package, and we have just the package for you. For only $4,300, we can get you on the level. We can get you heading in the right direction for clear. So you fork over your $4,300, and you start going through these auditing sessions. Mm-hmm. You get to where you think you need to be. Right at the end of your session, right at the end of your $4,300, and they go through this auditing process where they completely break your brain down, hook you up to this e-meter, and we'll get to this e-meter later on. You tell them all the bad things you've done in your life, so they know that you used to go to the post office and hide in a P.O. box and shit, and then jerk off with your own poop. They know that you used to blow your nose in your mom's panties and then take them to her and call her nasty. They know all of these things you used to do. Okay?
Oh, man.
So then,
I never told them that. How they know?
When you get to the end of your $4,300 course, you say, all right, I'm there. And then someone says, oh, no, wait a second. You're still pretty fucked up. You need to go a couple steps further. The next couple steps, it cost about $10,000. And you say, no. I think I'm pretty good where I'm at. I think I'm happy with the $4,300 I've spent. They said, no, you really need these next 2 courses for $10,000. I think I'm good. And they say, what would your family think about you fucking the dog? And you're like, what? I told you that. Yes, I told you that. You better not tell my family I fucked the dog. And then they'll say, what about that time you blew your nose in your mom's panties? How do you think she would feel knowing that you were the one that was actually blowing the nose in the panties? And you say, oh, you're right.
She had to go get her pussy sewed up. Sewed shut because
you're snot.
Yeah, because of your snot.
You're right. I'm fucked up, man. Here's $10,000. And that's the way they do this. They blackmail you. They make you believe something that isn't true. And I'll get to it here a little later on, but they're fucking criminals.
Yeah. And they get to the point to where you pretty much work for them for, and I believe Leah Rimini said this, $15 a week.
Yeah.
$15 a week, and you're there in the church working all the time.
There's other ways. So you say, I don't have $10,000 to pay you for these courses. Is there anything else I can do?
You signed a $1 billion contract.
Absolutely. There are many things that we can have you do in the Church of Scientology that will help you get these courses and get you to where you need to be.
And I'm not joking. $1 billion contract.
Yeah.
Thetans, just like you talked about, the Thetan is going to leave your body once you die. And then go to another body.
And you're still going to be under contract.
And you're still going to be under contract via Scientology. It's
so much fun.
Sign up, everybody.
The next thing in my research says, attaining the level of clear is a goal of every Scientologist because once clear, he or she will be ready for the mysterious and exciting advanced levels of Scientology called the OT levels for operating Thetan, as in hail Thetan. On these levels, so it doesn't stop at being clear.
Right.
There's OT levels like OT1, OT2, operating Thetan 3, operating Thetan 4. It goes all the way up to level 8, I think is where it stops.
Goes more than that now.
Okay.
8 was the highest for the longest.
On these levels, the person will supposedly regain his long-lost powers of telepathy, telekinesis, as well as the ability to travel at will outside his body, known in Scientology as exteriorization.
That just sounds amazing.
It does. The rough estimate suggests you'll be paying close to $128,000. Yes, $128,000 to reach the basic level of clear. Hubbard once wrote out a sample advertisement for the state of clear, and it was put in a very reputable magazine. I don't remember which one it was. It says, do you want more out of life? Become a Scientology clear. A Scientology clear has over 135 IQ, creative imagination, amazing vitality.
Hey, sign me up.
Deep relaxation, good memory.
Oh, good memory, just good.
Strong will, radiant health, magnetic personality, good self-control. If you would like to have all of these qualities, then look into Scientology.
I love it. This is how you know we're not Scientologists, because we have none of those things.
I'm literally like, what's your IQ? I don't know, 4? 5. Actually, you know what? I think my IQ is 5. Get the fuck out of here. That's my IQ.
I once put my dick in a soda can. Does that count for anything?
I got to cut my wiener off. It's not my wiener anymore. Inquirer said, ultimately, they're trying to get you to erase all traumatic thoughts from this life and the before life. And like we said before about these auditing sessions where they completely break you down and get you to tell them about all of these weird fucking quirks about you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to jerk off to the golf network. Don't like golf, just like guys in golf pants. Not a big fucking deal.
No, not at all.
Okay? It's my kink. It is what it is. It's the fucking cream spot, Rob.
It's the cream spot.
You're hearing it?
It's the golf network.
No one sinks in the cream spot. we're all swimming in the cream spot.
Nah,
You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
You get it.
It's dense.
Oh, Rob Dog. Oh, Rob Dog. Jeez. Ooh. Sweetheart, you were absolutely incredible. You took me round and round 5 times. What's your secret?
Oh, well, it's this little blue chewable pill that I just got called Blue Chew.
Oh, Rob Dog. Tell me more about this Blue Chew.
Oh, yeah. It's a little blue chewable pill that's prescribed online. Helps me make more stops here in the trailer park. It's chewable, so it's super handy.
So you can take it anytime? You ready to rock?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Rob Dog. I am gushing.
That's right, Antoinette. Ever since I started using Blue Chew, everything is so much different. It's like I added an extra tank of gas.
Is it like that Viagra and Cialis stuff?
Yes, it's the same active FDA ingredients. This stuff is bad to my bone. I mean, the bone.
If you think that extra is what you need, hit up BlueChew.com just like the color blue. If you use the promo code BROHIO, that's BROHIO at BlueChew.com, you're going to get your first shipment free minus your $5 shipping. They're going to take care of that for you.
Yeah, and email us a screenshot of your order, and the bros will send you some free stickers.
Promo code BROHIO at BlueChew.com. You will thank us later. During these sessions, these auditing sessions, they use something called an E-meter, not an E-peter.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be really cool, man.
Yeah.
This is called an E-meter. It's 1/3 of a lie detector. A lie detector.
You know how reputable lie detectors are? This is 1/3 of it.
It is, man.
2 big old fucking soup cans.
It is. A lie detector would also measure your respiration and your pulse. An E-meter didn't do that. It was 2 cans, literally 2 Bush's baked bean cans, what it looks like,
Yes.
and electrical wires. And it would force a small bit of current through the wires into your body. And it would check the resistance of between your body and the wires. And it would produce a reading on a this machine, much like a like a battery charger that had an arm that went back and forth. Look like a fucking meat thermometer is what it looks like. It detects the mass of your thoughts. It forces the current through your body. An auditor will ask you a question, and he will see, where you react less and less. So they'll sit there and they'll put you in these counseling sessions, and they'll say, so what's troubling you? And you'll say, my checking account, it's pretty drained. And they'll say, oh, okay, what else is going on in your life? You say, I had a really bad relationship with my mom. Then they'll see the meter flutter a little bit. And they'll say, what before you said something about the relationship with your mom, what were you thinking about? And you'll say, I don't know, I had a small vision, something popped up. And they'll say, well, let's focus on that vision that popped up before you said your relationship with your mom. And you say, I used to fuck my sister. That's what I'm thinking about.
Naturally.
And that's how they use these things against you, essentially. And they make you believe this E-meter knows all and says all, and it can read everything that's passing through your brain. All on the E-meter.
Good old soup cans.
And it gets you to recollect and also it'll get you to remember these visions from your past life as well. So literally, you're sitting there in a seat and you're just making shit up. And they're like, with this E-meter, like, yes, you were a Confederate soldier and you were cutting people's fucking toes off. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I got to get rid of that thought. And that's how they.
Sorry.
And whatever the E-meter says is the final word. There's sessions that cost as much as $1,000 an hour, or $12,500 for a 12.5 hour intensive, or 12. I'm sorry, half-hour intensive sessions.
We need to start our own religion.
Jesus, I know, dude.
My job isn't panning out the way that it should be.
Psychiatrists say these sessions can produce a drug-like mind-controlled euphoria that keeps customers coming back for more.
Oh, yeah.
To pay their fees, newcomers can earn commissions by recruiting new members, become auditors themselves, or to pay for these courses, they can join the church staff and receive free counseling in exchange for what their written contracts describe as 1 billion years of labor.
Why not?
And I found an old newspaper article from 1991. It was featuring an old woman named Harriet Baker. She was 73 years old at the time. Her husband died from cancer. Scientologists showed up at her house in Los Angeles home peddling a $1,300 auditing package to cure her grief. Some $15,000 later, the Scientologists discovered that her house was debt-free. They arranged a $45,000 mortgage, which they pressured her to tap for more auditing until Baker's children helped their mother snap out of her daze. June of that year, Baker demanded a $27,000 refund for unused services, prompting 2 cult members to show up at her door unannounced with an e-meter to interrogate her. Baker never got the money and, financially strapped, was forced to sell her house.
So sad.
This is what they did to a little fucking old woman. Scientology, huh? And next, one of the big branches of Scientology is Sea Org, or Sea Organization.
Yeah.
The Sea Org was established in August of 1967 by L. Ron Hubbard. He was on the run from the FBI and the IRS, so he just sailed out to sea.
Yeah, this is what he did to avoid paying taxes.
Yes. And now on Sea Org, you can... There's these various vessels that just sail the ocean. Okay?
And
it's like a weird naval fleet.
And I believe that Sea Org was the only way to obtain OT8, or you had to be OT8 in order to be on Sea Org.
I think they took like people that weren't higher up on the ship, but they had to work on the ship. But as far as being management on the ship, you had to be OT8, I think.
Yeah, then maybe that's where you had to obtain. You could only obtain OT8 on Sea Org.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I know he was on a research adventure whenever he was. That's allegedly what he was doing when he was out doing this. So they have all these different. It's normally kids of Scientology, kids that are born into Scientology.
Yeah.
They go onto this Sea Org as crew members, where they're given free room and board and small weekly allowances. Sea Org members agree to strict codes of discipline such as disavowing premarital sex, working long hours on an average of at least 100 hours per week, and living in communal housing referred to as berthings. They are allowed to marry, but must relinquish their membership if they have or want to raise children. They modeled this Sea Organization and the commanding officers of Sea Org after the Galactic Confederacy.
Okay.
Do you know what the Galactic Confederacy is?
No, but it sounds...
We're going to get to that here in
really
a little bit.
fucking lame.
And oftentimes they would just throw people off the side of this fucking ship.
Yeah,
as punishment.
For punishment.
They would tie them up, gag them, throw them off the side. And I could not find anywhere in my research where it tells you, sorry, I burped a little bit, what they do to these people after they throw them off. Do they just throw them off and let them drown for 3 seconds and go get them? It just says they got thrown off, and it doesn't elaborate anymore.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I'm assuming they just throw them out and they leave them there for a little bit, and then they go get them.
I don't know,
but yeah, it doesn't say. I heard the same thing and never got a good answer on what happened afterwards.
It says anyone who leaves the Sea Org without permission is declared a suppressive person by the Church of Scientology and is ostracized from family, friends, and loved ones. It is very difficult to get permission to leave the Sea Org, and one cannot simply quit and then walk out the door. The approved leaving process involves up to 3 years of hard physical labor, e-metered confessionals where they would in turn use your confessions to blackmail you to get you to stay in Sea Org, and social isolation and group pressure.
So which begs the question, if you've ever been thrown off the boat off Sea Org, give us an email. Shoot us an email. prohiopodcast@gmail.com.
Let us know. Let us know if you fucking died or if you're still alive or what's going on. This takes us to our next step, Operation Snow White. So in the early 1970s, the U.S. government, the IRS, the FBI, they were becoming a serious problem for Scientology. In response, L. Ron Hubbard launched Operation Snow White, the largest ever infiltration of several U.S. government agencies that were believed to have taken an interest in Scientology. Under the direction of the Guardian's office, which is the Scientology, that's their office, an estimated 5,000 agents, 5,000, infiltrated hundreds of government offices, stealing or destroying documents, tapping telephones, planting false information, and gathering materials on officials to be used as blackmail against them.
Yeah.
This is a fucking church, okay? That's the church.
With the power to infiltrate all this shit.
All of the investigations against them couldn't go on because all the stuff was just
everything was
destroyed.
gone.
That's so much fun. So L. Ron Hubbard eventually died. He died from a stroke. And when he did die, they didn't say, he died. They said he was tired of being held down by this physical body. And he knew what else was out there. And he wanted to get there so he could, in return, come back and tell us what else is out there.
Time for his Thetan to move on.
He was just old and he fucking died from a stroke and he's fat and his teeth look like dog shit. That's why he died.
Looked like fucking George Washington's wooden teeth.
Bring me some more of that fucking ice cream. Now that takes us to the new man in charge, David Miscavige.
Ooh, man.
Is he the ultimate shitbag?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't cover a whole lot on David Miscavige. Just know that
he's wild.
Current day, he is in charge of Scientology. He's the head motherfucker. His wife has not been seen since 2007.
Yeah.
She did a little bit of a pushback of Scientology. Kind of, not necessarily a pushback, but she kind of stuck her nose in some spots where it didn't belong.
Yeah, and she was pretty high ranking herself. She was, I want to say she was kind of like a secretary. Yeah. In a way, but she was, big deal. They were always side by side. They were always together. And then, randomly, she just stopped showing up for things.
Made her disappear. Yeah. And Leah Remini has been on a crusade to find this woman.
She's filed multiple missing persons reports.
Sent the police out?
Yeah. She's actually, she said this was pretty much the beginning of her wanting to, starting to question everything and then wanting to get out of Scientology because she couldn't get an answer whenever she asked. She asked at Tom Cruise's wedding. She asked someone like, where's Shelley? And they said, you do not have the clearance to ask those questions.
Which is completely crazy.
Yeah. She was friends with Shelley.
Yeah, and there was an officer who's since retired from the LAPD, and he's come out and said, listen, I know about the reports of Shelley Miscavige being missing, and I know about the reports of police going there and seeing her and her saying, hey, I'm okay, but still never coming out in the public eye. He said they have not done the proper steps in this investigation.
No.
She is missing, and they are essentially not doing their job as far as saying, okay, she's missing, we got to find her. The LAPD is not being forthcoming about this investigation.
And let me also say that they have a vested interest because Scientology donates millions of dollars each year to the LAPD. So, they kind of have them in their pocket.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, they're notoriously known, and I don't know so much anymore, but I would just say in past accounts as a very corrupt, probably the most corrupt police department in the country.
Bought right now, dude. Yeah.
But I mean, same thing with like New York. But I mean, like you have those cities that are so big and so diverse. And like you have the upper level, and then real quick you have bottom barrel crime areas, crime-ridden areas. So it's natural that a police department that big is going to have some shady people.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of the biggest wins for David Miscavige was in 1993 when they reached a settlement with the IRS over the taxes Scientology had been withholding ever since their tax-exempt status was revoked in 1967. In return for a payment of $12.5 million in back taxes, the IRS relented and agreed to restore tax-exempt status to Scientology and all related entities.
So crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
And I cannot express to you people enough how much of a grimy slime bucket David Miscavige is.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is the slimiest of slime balls that I have ever put my eyes on. This guy, just look him up, dude. He is just, oh. And
he's put a lot of worth into the, which I'll talk about a little bit, into the wanting as many celebrities into the organization as possible.
Yeah.
Because, he sees celebrities as, a lot of people worship celebrities.
They do.
And that's an easy way to get people more involved and want to, be a part of the church, which I totally get,
That's how it works.
I totally get.
Now, to touch on a couple other weird things about Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard was very opinionated about birth and infant nutrition. Hubbard thought that talking in a delivery room could cause trauma for the baby, and therefore delivery rooms should be as quiet as possible. So what they were doing is when a woman is giving birth, in Scientology, when a woman is giving birth, she has to remain completely silent with no anesthesia. They're not allowed to make any sounds during birth to help not create a chaotic environment for the child that's being brought into the world. Hubbard also disapproved of breast milk in situations where the mother's health was compromised, but he also rejected the baby milk formulas developed by experts in nutrition. Hubbard thought he was a better expert than everybody else, and he surmised that since Roman soldiers ate a lot of barley and that made them fit and strong, it had to be good. Had to be good for babies too. So Scientologist mothers still use the Hubbard baby formula to this day.
Just take the babies to the cream spot.
I know about this really nice place called the Cream Spot. Hold on a second, I got an idea. I think I remember this traveling back. My fucking Ingrams and my fucking my Thetans. My Thetans going off right now.
Ugh.
I know those Roman soldiers, they really did a lot of barley. Those were some big motherfuckers. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Pretty much just giving baby beer.
Oh, God. So next we have Xenu. This is the, when you reach Operating Thetan 3, it's revealed that some Ingrams... Oh, God damn it. How do you fucking go about this? So you pass the level of clear, and you get to an Operating Thetan.
Yeah.
There's a big you learn more and more secrets as you travel up and pay more money. When you get to the certain level of Operating Thetan 2, they give you the fucking gospel. It's handwritten on fucking McDonald's napkin. It's handwritten on something by L. Ron Hubbard.
It's like a scroll.
It's the story of how it all started.
Yeah.
These people, this is their Jesus Christ. This is their Allah. This is their, I don't know, Jewish people, what they were, money, what they worship.
So with each level, you're reaching a new level of enlightenment.
Yes.
You get more of the story and more of, what your actual position is in the religion and what the overall picture is.
And when you get to this level, you find out the story of why we're all here. It says, when you reach Operating Thetan 3, it is revealed that some Ingrams are shared among all Thetans. The most important is Incident 2, quote, Incident 2, which took place 75 million years ago. To cure overpopulation in his galactic confederacy, like we stated earlier, Xenu, who's a fucking alien, drugged and paralyzed billions of people after first summoning them for tax inspections and froze them in ethylene glycol, which is fucking antifreeze. It's shit you put in your car. He froze them in antifreeze, okay? When L. Ron Hubbard speaks about this galactic confederacy, this world from 75 million years ago, when he describes it, it looks just like modern day 1950. He said the people dress the same as 1950. The cars are the same as 1950. The way they walk to the jobs down the street is the same as 1950. This is coming from a science fiction fucking writer that made comic books, and these people are giving their money and worshiping this man and buying into all of his stuff. I don't get it, Rob Dog.
I mean, anytime you're dealing with a god that begins with an X, you know something's fucked up.
You know he's about to go down.
It's so science fiction-y. I love it.
So Xenu, he takes all of these paralyzed people, which he got them by summoning for these tax. It's like almost like an audit.
Yeah.
And then they would freeze them and paralyze them. So he flew the paralyzed people to Geek, is what this place is called. At the time, it was called Tigik, which is actually Earth, according to L. Ron Hubbard, in interstellar rocket planes, which looked like DC-8s, but without jet engines. He stacked them around volcanoes and killed them with hydrogen bombs lowered into the volcanoes.
This is so rad.
Xenu didn't want the Thetans to reincarnate, so he forced them to watch confusing films with horrible lies for 36 days. The poor Thetans were told they were God, they were told they were devil, they were told they were the Antichrist, they were told they were Christ. They were all these things together, and they were confused, so they believed it. Then the souls left the cinema and started clumping together. And today, these souls are clumped inside of you and me and everyone else, and you got to pay to get rid of these fuckers. These lost, wandering souls are the Ingrams that are trapped inside of all of us. There are many of these Ingrams stored in each person's brain, and auditing just keeps on uncovering more of them, going all the way back through all your past lives to the time of evil Lord Xenu. This is just the first step. Having been freed from the reactive mind, the quote clear can then go on to become an operating Thetan with immense powers to control space, matter, and time. And I got that from Rationale Wiki. That's a really good website for crazy shit like this. There's also another thing they had for, and this is real quick, they had an operation in Riverside County called The Hole. And in 2004, it was just 2 fucking trailers that were stacked together that David Miscavige had enough of all the higher-ups in the church. So he rounded up all the executives in the Scientology church and brought them to this place called The Hole in California. And he ordered them to play fucking musical chairs in the conference room. And one by one, he said, "Get the fuck out of here. If you lost, get the fuck out of here." And they literally, when they call it The Hole, it was treated like solitary confinement. He was very manipulative, and he did a lot of bad things to the people that were held at the hole. Those that were living at the hole slept in rather cramped conditions. Men would sleep around the conference tables, with women sleeping in the cubicles and the small offices within the trailers. The hole was said to be infested with ants, and they would turn off and turn on the air conditioning at all different times. They would occasionally randomly turn off the electricity. Showers were scheduled for times when the occupants would be less likely to encounter Miscavige, who lived there at the hole. They were put in intense auditing sessions where they were, I guess they were given an opportunity to make more confessions beyond what they'd already made before, and what they were doing is saying all of the bad feelings they had stored up about David Miscavige. And that's what they were trying to get to the root of, is why they, did all these things. At one point, they put a woman in a trash can and they fucking dumped water on her until she confessed to being a lesbian, which she wasn't.
Jesus.
Yeah, and there's other tales of mental and physical abuse in the hole, including one executive who was made to stand underneath the strong gusts of an air conditioner while water was poured on him. Like I said, the woman who was beaten and had water dumped on her until she confessed to being a lesbian. There was another member who was made to lick a bathroom floor for half an hour. And Charles Manson, who was briefly a Scientologist, summed it all up in his quote. He left Scientology and he said, quote, "All seems a bit weird to me, to be honest."
If fucking Charles Manson is like, that's fucking weird.
Jesus, man.
You know what you're getting into.
And that takes us into the aspect of the celebrities.
Yeah, we'll get into the celebrity part here.
Rob Dog covered.
Yep. All right, so we'll start with let me put my fucking headphones on first so I can hear myself.
Yeah, it kind of messes everything up.
All right, there we go. I'll start with pretty much just naming a couple celebrities that are past and present members. You got Jenna Elfman, Kirstie Alley, Beck. Fucking Beck. He seems like a person that would be in Scientology.
He does.
Juliette Lewis, Danny Masterson, Laura Prepon, which kind of sucks because she's hot. Elizabeth Moss, Michael Pena, Kelly Preston, who is John Travolta's wife. And then you got formerly, which Nick just mentioned, Charles Manson, Lisa Marie Presley, Sonny Bono, and Isaac Hayes. Good old Isaac Hayes, man.
I'm gonna lay you down. That's Chef from
It is
South
Chef.
Park. Okay.
Yep. And then, of course, the two most popular, you got the big bad boys, Tom Cruise and John Travolta.
Those are the biggies.
Those are the biggies. Now, what I didn't know until I was doing this research is they kind of have beef.
Those two do?
Yeah, they're feuding. They were, at least at some point, because John pretty much was the first one, but Tom Cruise is like best buds with David Miscavige, and he's really, really jealous about their relationship.
Okay, that
And
makes sense.
so yeah, they kind of don't like each other, which is kind of weird. But anywho, Tom Cruise is, of course, I would say he's the most famous and successful member of the church. Now, former member Leah Remini, which I'm going to talk about her a lot. There's a lot of quotes that she said regarding him, and I'm kind of just going to go. I'm not going to touch on a lot of the stuff, but the stuff that I found the most interesting to talk about. She was on. I went back and re-listened to the podcast where she did with Joe Rogan, episode 908. If you want to hear more about this, her side of the story is awesome. She has a TV show where she talks about it.
It's all good
I think
stuff.
3 or 4 seasons in, it's a lot of crazy stuff, and it's cool to hear somebody who's actually been there.
Yeah.
And she was, from the time she was, I think she was actually born. She may have been born into it, or really, really young. I can't remember which one it was. But she stated that Tom was considered a deity within the church, and he was second to David Miscavige, who was considered the savior of the free world. So it's in his hands.
And all the people in Scientology, all the people that are in it, they all think Tom Cruise has like super fucking powers. They think that he can.
Yeah, they think he's a god.
Yeah.
They treat him as a god.
And his teeth aren't even straight, symmetrical with his face. His tooth crack in the middle is
he's
off-centered.
He's like 4'9" too.
Yeah, he's shit.
Hell of an actor, but
yeah,
he's fucking weird.
I don't like any of his movies.
I don't either, but I appreciate the fact that he does his own stunts and everything.
I've
That's pretty
jacked
cool.
off to Interview with the Vampire a lot, though.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The actress Mimi Rogers introduced Tom Cruise to the religion when they started dating in 1986.
Is that the fat chick from the Drew Carey show?
That's Mimi, but I don't
That's the same one, right?
I think so.
She was a fucking fox, dude.
And those two actually eventually ended up marrying. Now, Mimi's father was a friend of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard.
All I can think about is fucking Tom Cruise's midget ass climbing up on top of her and just going to Pound Town.
That blue eyeshadow. And helped build the church in the 1950s. So Mimi was born into the religion and grew up with its practices. She has since, of course, left the faith, which, a lot of people do. And the church will do, and this is the thing, like, which we kind of spoke about them, or which I kind of said something about him being a god. They're going to do anything and everything they can do to protect and cater to Cruise.
Jeez.
So this is what Leah says in this quote. She says, Scientology goes to great lengths to not allow Tom to see anything disparaging about Scientology. They'll go as far as if he's going to walk a certain place, they'll make sure there are no magazines that are anti-Scientology so he can't see that.
So much shit, man.
And I talked about earlier that I think I mentioned it during the interview, which you'll actually hear later, that low-ranking members are forced to buy tickets to all of his movies and see them multiple times in order to boost sales of his movies.
That's good.
There's a former member named Bree Mood who said, Tom Cruise was a god in the lower ranks. Every time a Tom Cruise movie came out, they'd buy all of his tickets. It could be 500, 1,000, up to 2,500 people. I'm not kidding.
That's so fucking corny, dude. Why don't they buy all the tickets for the Brohio shows? That'd be cool.
Oh, dude, that'd be tight.
Yeah, we're just Scientologists there, and I just show them my dick and balls.
We really are doing this wrong. So I believe this next part that I have was from the documentary Going Clear. This is about a person named Marty Rathbun. who was a high-ranking member, he said that he was to facilitate in the breakup of Tom and his then wife during this time, Nicole Kidman. So of course you all know that he was married, and this is kind of like the downfall of their marriage, and even how the church kind of interfered in that. Now Nicole Kidman was a non-believer, and she herself was trying to get Tom to leave the church, and this is why they had
poor thing
Rathbun interfere. And so what he did is that he would he wiretapped their phones, was auditing him constantly and re-educating their adoptive children so that they would turn against Nicole. So they were, indoctrinating these kids and teaching them to pretty much hate their own adoptive mom.
That seems fair.
So, of course, naturally, with all this pushback from the church, Tom decided to split up with her. And since he did that, and this is what caused a lot of the feud between him and John Travolta, he was awarded with the church's highest honor, which is called the Freedom Medal of Valor.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. This is what kind of started to piss John Travolta off, because he had just got awarded the highest honor, and fucking John Travolta's just flying around in his own private plane doing God knows what. No, but he was jelly at the time.
Seems logical.
Yeah.
Rational, anyways.
Yeah, and you've got another quote here from Leah. She says, "I think people think Cruz is an innocent victim in all this. Most Scientologists are, and I can actually say this about most Scientologists because I was in it, so I know my own heart," Rimini explains. "They told me not to look at certain things, and the quote that they used would be, 'Don't forward an enemy line,' which means you are reading a magazine or a book or watching Going Clear is forwarding an enemy line."
Yep.
There are even Facebook posts from Scientologists saying, "Don't forward an enemy line, don't click on anything." So I know that Scientologists willfully don't look at these things because the church is telling them that these are enemy lines, and you don't want to look at anything. You don't want to look at anything apostates have to say. Now, where Tom is concerned, that is very different, she adds. He is very aware of the abuses going on in Scientology. He's been a part of it. As Rimini tells it, Cruz's close friendship with Miscavige has afforded him certain knowledge of Scientology's internal operations that other members do not possess, including their penchant for corporal punishment, which many ex-members, including Devote, I'll just say that, has attested to. And this is another former member. He's best friends with David Miscavige, so he's privy to punishments that David Miscavige doles out, and I've been told by senior executive of Scientology who was there that Miscavige constantly threatened the staff at the Gold Base with bringing Tom Cruise to Gold Base to kick their fucking asses.
Yeah, right.
So can you imagine?
I would be like, bring him on, dude. I'll fart in his mouth. Tom Cruise kick my ass.
She also alleges a Scientology official informed her that Cruise personally administered punishment on high-ranking members of the church on Miscavige's orders. He is not in the same category as an average Scientologist, she says. So, 2005, Cruise marries Katie Holmes. She is, when they first start dating, and when they first start getting married, or when they first get married, she is pretty much escorted everywhere by what's called a handler.
But they had an audition process.
Yes, yeah. They tried out.
They had a wife picked out for him.
Yeah, after they made him and Nicole split, they had David was like, you know what? We need to get him a girlfriend. We need
we have
to
a friend like that. We got to get him a girlfriend.
we need to get this dude laid. Yeah, and they put out an ad.
Yeah.
In like a fucking dating column for him.
And this fucking poor soul right here, Katie Holmes.
Yeah, they had somebody picked out first, but then somehow, Katie Holmes pops into the picture. She's escorted by a handler, and this handler would answer all questions for her. Would pretty much they stepped in place so that she couldn't say anything that could
stumble over her own feet.
Yeah, that couldn't be damning. And just you talked about it earlier about the whole birth thing. This also ranged true with the birth of their daughter Suri. Holmes was ordered by Tom Cruise to be silent while giving birth because L. Ron believed that absolute silence needed to be maintained during labor.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, so he continued the tradition right down to her. And the other thing that I thought was funny that I made notes of here is that, of course, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes aren't together anymore.
Yep, they're divorced.
Yeah, whenever and this is just, I don't know if this is completely true, but this is what ex-members have came out and said, that whenever they decided that they weren't going to be together anymore, Katie wanted out. She didn't want anything to do with the church. It was crazy. She knew she wanted out. They finally allowed it. She was willing to do anything. So she ended up signing pretty much like a contract with them for 5 years that she was not allowed to talk about Tom in any way that may embarrass him or the church or talk about the church. And within this 5-year period, she also wasn't allowed to come forward and be seen in the public eye with another man, have another boyfriend, or anything during that time.
She's been removed from the spotlight ever since her marriage with him.
Yeah, ever since then. I think from what I remember, the thing that really, like the straw that broke the camel's back for her was whenever, I believe that Tom was going to try to send Surrey to Sea Org.
Oh, yeah.
And
fuck that.
And pretty much take her
Those
away.
people are treated like inmates.
Yeah, so that was kind of the final straw for her there. So, I mean, just that little bit tells you how fucking wild this organization is.
I want to be married to Tom Cruise.
And from there, it's Travolta's not any fucking more normal. This guy, he joined back in 1975. He was given top honor by L. Ron himself, and he was deemed a kakan. And now with this, I find this status to be probably the most troubling, and the overall strangest and unsettling out of almost everything. When you're named a kakan, which right, it's kakan. According to God damn it, don't do Deo on me again. According to Leah, a kakan pretty much gives you, it's a title that gives you the authority to be able to murder somebody.
Holy shit.
Now, there's a policy in the church that pretty much says you can kill another human being if you're kakaned. Everybody else is gonna look the other way. And the church has what's called an ethics protection. And this is to show complete loyalty to the church, that no matter what potential crimes are committed, and this is according to Rimini, that it's called ethics protection. There's another policy called the responsibility of leaders, which says that what you got to do is protect the leader, or you got to protect the leader. You got to do it. If you see a body, you got to clean it up. So
that's fine.
Yeah. So it pretty much says that if you see this person, or if something happens to this person, you have to protect them.
We're getting killed after this one for sure. So, yeah. We're definitely gonna get killed after this.
And then it gets fun with Travolta's son, Travolta and Kelly Preston's son, who was 16 years old. He passed away in 2009 at 16 years old after having a seizure. And this was in the Bahamas. Yeah. Now, according to former member Sam Domingo, Travolta attempted to resurrect his son in the ambulance.
Oh no!
And resurrect is kind of it's kind of a weird thing in terms, because we've already talked about the whole Thetan thing.
Yeah.
And this is the type of resurrection we're talking about. So Scientologists believe that the spirit Thetan doesn't pick a body until birth. If you lose a baby before it's born, then it's just an empty shell. Nothing to worry about. It's the same with death. To them, once your body is of no use, your Thetan can just go and pick up a new body and carry on where you left off. John Travolta did a bring back to life assist while Jet was in the ambulance. It's where you order the Thetan to get back into the body, saying, "I command you to get into the body now."
It seems like it would work.
And this is meant to bring them back to life. Now, when Jet died...
my turds when I shit my pants.
You will go down.
Get back in the body.
When Jet died, Kelly was camped out the church headquarters in Clearwater in a hotel room day and night with private security. When you lose a child in Scientology, you believe that the spirit, or the Thetan, has left that physical body and will find another one. In the case of Kelly, She got pregnant a few months later, and the couple's third child, Ben, was born just over a year and a half after Jet's death. She will believe that the Thetan of Jet is in Ben.
Oh my god.
How?
That's heavy shit.
It's fucking loony.
It's very loony, dude.
It's just so weird. I don't know.
I can't make sense of it. Like I said, this episode's a mess.
Yeah, it's so weird and it's so out there, and like I feel bad for people because they're so brainwashed. And I mean,
they're brainwashed.
And
the gills.
There's the whole thing that people talk about where they're like, why would somebody like Tom Cruise or John Travolta want to be a part of something like this? Well,
protection.
They have every reason to want to be. I mean, you got people have talked about, like, on the set of Tom's movies, that he has a staff of like 100 people that are from the church.
Entourage bigger than Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that just do anything that he wants for him. He doesn't have to do a damn thing besides act.
And I watched that. If you go to YouTube and they constantly gets taken down, but if you look up Tom Cruise Scientology rant,
yeah, he has a video pretty much where
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10-minute long, nine something.
10 minutes of a man that has no grip on reality whatsoever.
It's just a 10-minute long ad for Scientology is what it is.
And right at the end, he's just like,
you see the glint of reptile eyes.
Yeah, it's
pop across.
Him losing his fucking mind.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed researching it.
Yeah, it's fucking batshit nuts.
I will not be a Scientologist anytime soon. I don't think Rob Dog will either.
I can't afford it.
I can't afford it either. $12,000 for you to tell me I jerk off too much? Yeah, get fucking real, Jack.
Save your fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned. We got an interview with our patron.
Yeah, our Patreon sponsor.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Old Mikey.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you. We will catch you next week. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Depends on how you guys act.
We might get fucking hit by a golf cart between now and then.
We're like Santa Claus. If you guys act bad, we're not coming back.
You cut me and I bleed gravy.
Ooh, yummy.
Tell them you love them, Rob Dog.
Yeah, I guess I love you guys.
Okay, we're here with the Patreon sponsor this episode.
Yeah, we are.
This is Mikey. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
No, it's going awesome.
We went through about 50 different topics with you. Well, it wasn't that many. You gave us a lot of stuff. It's just, you seem like you are someone that sits up and reads some really weird shit. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah, I watch a lot of shows about weird shit.
Yeah,
I'm always on these,
I'm right there with you.
Internet sites, conspiracy. Not really so much conspiracy, but, UFO, Sasquatch, ghosts, all that bullshit. So.
Yeah. Don't call it bullshit, Mike. It's
no, I know. Yeah, I do a little bit of partial. I'm like a part-time ghost hunter myself.
Okay. And well, yeah,
I've been on a few.
One of the ones you asked us to do was Potsdam in Middletown, or is it Post Town, or what's the name of that elementary?
Post Town Elementary.
Okay, yeah. And I was reading about that. I don't know if we could have, and like I told you, I don't know if we could squeeze an entire episode out of that place, but that is one. That's one sketchy place for sure.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot in the history books about it, but it's just one of the 1,400 or 1,500 things I sent you guys for the Patreon episode. Yep. before I had the epiphany. And the reason why I come up with that was, the one that you guys went with was I was watching a show and it was about the founder of JPL Laboratories. And he was a self-proclaimed Satanist.
Okay, so am I.
And he was, and he was into doing all this sex orgies and sex magic, what they called them. And he was a big fan of Aleister Crowley.
Are you talking about Parsons? Is it who you're talking about?
Yeah, Parsons.
We talked about him in this episode.
It's just, how much fucking weirdness can you get out of? You got. It's like, good God, man.
The ritual they do to try and summon the what is the fucking, they try and summon some goddess. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it involves two of them just sitting there watching the other one jack off.
Oh man. That's called a podcast.
Yeah. Like how How
That might be the same. That's the one I used to try to get my wife to make dinner. By the way.
why do you make her watch you jack off or?
Yeah. I do it till she makes dinner.
When's my ramen gonna be done? Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you picked Scientology. That's a really big episode, and I'm glad it wasn't like it was almost a last second thing, but you were able to beat on it for a week and get some decent research in it. But there is so much stuff to cover. It could be weeks long. It could be a season of covering all the fucked up shit they've done.
Yeah, we could have done a ton, a couple episodes easily on it.
Yeah, it's like there's, offshoots of it that you could probably do full shows on, just,
right.
It's like the Sea Org. Yeah, that's fucking weird too, man. That's part of it.
Should L. Ron Hubbard's goofy ass, you could do like 3 episodes to him by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are Tom Cruise and John Travolta thinking, man? I mean, fuck me.
Yeah.
Fucking Travolta's been in since the 70s, so I mean...
Yeah, you got all this money and all this fame, and that's what you want to throw all your fucking weight behind? It's like, Jesus, man. Good God.
I'd definitely just do a lot more cocaine, but Tom Cruise knows something, man. Because he's like 70 and he still looks like he's 35, so he definitely knows what's up.
Yeah, he's like drinking baby blood or something, but
I've heard that before too, that they do that.
Yeah, they I don't know if it's true or not. Of course, I've never been to their headquarters, but supposedly they show Tom Cruise movies all the fucking time in the lobby.
I know it makes sense,
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, man. You got to be in a really weird fucking place to be like, yeah, I'm going to give these fuckers my money.
I talk about it during this episode, but we haven't recorded it yet, but they're going to be rehearing this again because it's going to be at the end of the episode. But like they make everybody in the church go watch his movies like 2 or 3 times, so it boosts the box office sales.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They'll send them to the movie theaters in like buses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe it.
It's so weird. It's fucking wild, man.
Oh, and I'm watching these interviews.
Pretty bad.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
It's just weird, knowing that he's so fucked up that his own kid even says, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah. His wife, Katie Holmes, she was like, "Man, fuck this."
I'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus.
It's a whole weird situation. It's. I don't know. They're both fucking lunatics, and they're like the 2 big ones. I mean, but you got also like Kirstie Alley and John Travolta's wife. She's famous too. And
Yeah.
When I going through the research, they had a movie night. I know you guys talked about Tom Cruise and watching his movies. Well, for the movie night, the big movie night, they all watched the Saturday Night Fever?
Saturday Night Fever,
with John Travolta. That was like 20 years after the fact.
Yeah,
like, let's watch this. This is a good one. Let's watch this one.
Should have threw in Pulp Fiction. It would have been a lot cooler.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
It's such a fucking weird cult, man.
It really is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's all. I thought about maybe saying maybe I ought to do one on that. What's that actress that got busted working for that sex cult where they branded your ass?
I don't know about that one.
It's in. Oh shit! Hold on a second.
I don't know.
It's got like letters in something.
Pizzagate?
Interview. Fuck. Never mind. I said that. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just making shit up now.
She was this serious Hollywood actress. She was on some stupid show I'd never watched, but she got busted. She was recruiting girls to go into this sex cult, and she got busted, and a bunch of people got busted on it.
Betty White. I'd join that.
Thank you for being a friend.
Hey, there's something. You talking about Tom Cruise looking young,
right? Exactly.
I mean, Jesus.
She
was there when they signed.
She's outliving everybody.
She's got a vagina made of porcelain. It's made of porcelain, so you can just piss on it.
Not a single wrinkle.
Oh my God!
When I get really old, I'm gonna get a shirt that says that. Not a single wrinkle. Just
oh yeah.
Wear it to the county fair. Get some.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Well, man, you have any questions for the bros at all? You got us here.
You know what?
You got us naked.
I mean, I'm trying to think of something, but
Well, tell us about your ghost hunting travels.
well, I've been to Waverly Hills, been to Mansfield Reformatory, and I think my father-in-law, when he passed away, he kind of stuck around for a little while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's he lived with us. We built this house in '01, and he lived with us for a long time, and he ended up breaking his hip and going to a nursing home, and he passed away in the nursing home. But
Yeah.
we had some weird shit start to happen after that. I had 2 daughters, and one of them would say she'd turn the light off in her bedroom and come back and the light would be on. And we're like, all right, whatever. You're just thinking you turned it off. You just didn't, but whatever. And my other daughter had a necklace that was given to her by her grandfather, and she always kept it on like this little jewelry tree where she would hang it. And she would wake up to go to school, and that necklace would be at the foot of her bed.
God.
Almost on a daily basis, so we're like, what the hell? And me and my wife are just like, okay, whatever. Well, I was on vacation one day, and nobody was home but me, and I had the front door open, but the screen door was shut. And it's hard to pull, it's hard to open, So I'm sitting there, and my mom calls, and she's talking to me, and all of a sudden I hear the screen door open and shut. And it was loud enough for her to hear over the phone. And she goes, who's home? And I look out the window, and there's nobody there. So I said, hold on a second. I put the phone down, and I walked in. The dogs are walking around in circles in front of the door like, what the fuck? We heard that too, and there's nobody. I even went outside and looked, and there's nobody on the side of the house or nothing.
Man.
Well, I told my wife this, and she's like, get the fuck out of here. Are you drinking again? It's 11. What the hell, So
Are you drinking again? As a matter of fact, I was, but that's not the goddamn point, woman.
Well, she sent me to the store one night, and I was gone, and she come back, and her eyes were like the size of dinner plates. And I'm like, what? She goes, you don't notice anything? And I'm like, what? She goes, look at the stereo. I looked down, the stereo was on, and I'm like, why is the stereo on? She goes, I don't know. It just came on. And it was an older stereo, but the remote was broke, so the only way to turn it on is to actually get up and push the button.
Yeah.
And I guess when I left, it came on, and she could hear this music playing, and she opened the back door, and I had these outdoor speakers out by the pool, and I mean, it was just cranking. It was cranking. And he kind of stuck around for a little bit because little things would happen here and there, and then all of a sudden, I think he just got tired of, watching me have sex with his daughter. And he bailed.
If you sent me that link, I'd click on it. So.
But yeah, so I,
that's some
I
heavy
do a
shit.
little bit on. Yeah, I do a little bit of stuff from time to time. I've caught some 2 really good pictures at Waverly Hills a couple of years ago.
You're guaranteed to hear or see some shit when you go there.
Oh man, it's just so friggin' big and so creepy.
It is. Have you done the one in Middletown, the school?
No, we're trying to actually, a couple of my friends from work are trying to get something together this weekend to go down to Bobby Mackey's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so we're kind of holding off on the Post Town thing for right now, but
Sure.
we're going to get there eventually.
Okay. Well, fucking let us know, man. We've been talking to Jerry from Hillbilly Horror Stories about doing something in Middletown, so
hell yeah,
specifically there. So hopefully that works out because I'd love to go check that out. I want to be jacked off by a ghost.
Oh, man.
Feel the,
what if it's a male ghost?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, Mike.
Well, yeah, we ought to do a ghost hunt together, man.
I'd love to do that.
Rocking.
It'd be the perfect combination of firm yet gentle.
Do you see how soft Casper's hands look in that movie?
Oh man, pristine.
Yeah,
like Betty White's pussy.
like he's wearing those gloves you would use to handle like Civil War jewelry. Right. White gloves. Well, Mike, we appreciate you sponsoring the episode, man. I'm glad we finally got to you, and thanks so much for working with us on the schedule and stuff and getting us a super awesome topic that I know a lot of people are going to listen to, so everyone's going to get to hear your fucking ass.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm into it.
You, from what we talked about earlier in the week, I'm not going to repeat what you said. I'm going to repeat the rumors that you work in a factory of sadness. So I do wish you all the best at work tonight if you're on third shift.
Hell yeah.
Godspeed. And we genuinely appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support and listening to the show. And
absolutely. You guys need to put 2 episodes out a week, though.
Our wives would fucking leave us right now.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of work. I know what you guys do is a lot of work.
Right.
So. It's stupid.
They would have left us 10 minutes ago if that was the case.
Yeah. They're already hearing you talking about it, and they're drafting up the papers right now.
Hell yeah.
All right, buddy. Well,
all right, man. We appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Good guy.
Yes, it is.
Mike's a killer guy.
Always.
Gave us a good topic.
Yep.
Gave us some juicy conversation.
That's how we like it.
He left out the part about being able to suck his own dick. I told him
I'm so jealous about
to
that.
remember.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to remember.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised his wife wasn't in the background like, tell him that you can suck your own dick. Show him that you can suck your own dick.
Man, I'd be bragging about it if I could.
Dude, I would go to Walmart and get up on the customer service counter I just have some hand towels. Like, you want to return those hand towels? I'm like, no, get the fuck out of my way. These are for the back of my head. Just roll back and
just pick up one of the speaker phones and be like, hey, everybody, look what I can do. Everybody look.
A bullhorn. All right, I think that's the end of this episode.
All right. Thank you, guys.
But it's the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, for us.
So,
and for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you.